Meet David. David is 41 years old, earns $94,000 a year, and by every visible measure, looks financially sorted. New car in the driveway. Weekend trips twice a year. A house in a decent neighborhood. But David has $1,200 in savings. Not $12,000. Not $120,000. $1,200. If his transmission blew tomorrow, David would be on the phone with a lender by Thursday. David is not lazy. He is not irresponsible. He is not uneducated. David is breaking 11 rules, and he doesn't know any of them exist. According to the Federal Reserve's 2024 survey of consumer finances, the median American household has less than $8,000 in liquid savings. Meanwhile, the top 10% of households hold over 67% of all U.S. wealth. The gap isn't just income, it's behavior. Today, we're going through the 11 money rules that wealthy people never break and that the middle class breaks every single month. These aren't complicated. They aren't secret. They're just consistently ignored. Rule number 1. Never spend money you haven't earned yet. The middle class treats credit as an extension of income. The wealthy treat credit as a tool, and tools have specific jobs. According to the Federal Reserve, the average American household carries $6,270 in credit card debt. At an average APR of 24.6%, that household is paying approximately $1,542 a year just to exist in debt. That's $1,542 that will never become an investment, a safety net, or a choice. Wealthy individuals use credit cards for points, cash back, and purchase protection, but the balance hits zero every single month. The rule is, never spend money that doesn't already exist in your account. Rule number 2. Never upgrade your lifestyle the moment your income rises. There's a term for what happens when your spending rises to match your income. Lifestyle inflation, and it is the single most effective wealth destruction machine the middle class has ever built. David got a $14,000 raise last year. He leased a better car, started ordering DoorDash 4 nights a week, and upgraded his gym membership. By December, his monthly expenses had risen by $1,180. His raise was $1,166 a month. David is now, mathematically, poorer than he was before the raise. The wealthy have a different default. When income goes up, savings rate goes up first. Lifestyle upgrades, if they happen at all, come later, and they're deliberate. Rule number 3. Never keep money idle in a checking account. The average checking account in America earns 0.08% annual interest. Inflation in 2024 averaged 3.2%. That means every dollar in your checking account is losing roughly 3.1% of its purchasing power every year. The wealthy treat their checking account like a throughput account. Money flows in, flows to where it works, and only a small operating buffer stays behind. High-yield savings accounts currently offer between 4.5% and 5.1% APY. A $20,000 emergency fund in a HYSA earns roughly $920 a year doing absolutely nothing. That same $20,000 in a standard checking account earns $16. The difference isn't knowledge. It's a 20-minute account setup. Rule number 4. Never skip paying yourself first. Most people operate on what's left. They pay rent, utilities, subscriptions, groceries, and whatever is left over they call savings. The problem is that nothing is ever left over. Parkinson's law applies to money. Spending expands to fill whatever is available. The wealthy automate the extraction before the money ever touches their hands. Contribution to 401k is pre-tax and automatic. A transfer to a brokerage, or HYSA, happens the same day as direct deposit. What's left is what they live on, not the other way around. According to Vanguard, individuals who automate retirement contributions save 2.4 times more over a 20-year period. Rule number 5. Never buy things to impress people you don't actually care about. This one is uncomfortable because it is deeply human. We buy the car that signals success, renovate the kitchen guests will see, wear the watch that communicates arrival. Thomas Stanley's research found most American millionaires drive used or mid-range vehicles and live well below what they could afford. They learned the people they were trying to impress weren't paying attention. The ones who were paying attention weren't the right people anyway. Every dollar spent on status is a dollar extracted from freedom. Wealthy people buy for function and durability, not audience. Rule number 6. Never make major financial decisions under emotional pressure. Emotion is the single most expensive thing a middle-class budget carries. The panic sell in March 2020 that locked in losses right before the market recovered. The revenge spend after a bad week at work. The impulsive real estate offer made during a bidding war that felt like a competition. Retail investors who traded most frequently during volatility underperformed passive investors by 4.3% annually. NBER 2023. 4.3% annually compounded over 20 years is the difference between retiring comfortable and retiring stressed. Wealthy investors have a standing rule: no major financial decisions within 48 hours of an emotional trigger. The money will still be there in 2 days. The market will still be there in 2 days. What changes in 2 days is you. Rule number 7. Never ignore the difference between assets and liabilities. An asset puts money into your pocket. A liability takes money out. Your primary residence is a liability until it generates income. It costs you property tax, maintenance, insurance, and mortgage interest every single month. The middle class spends decades confusing the size of their mortgage for the size of their wealth. According to the Federal Reserve, the average American household has 68% of its net worth tied up in home equity. That wealth cannot be spent, invested, or deployed without selling the house or borrowing against it. The wealthy build cash-flowing assets first. The house comes after, and it's paid for differently. Rule number 8. Never treat your tax bill as something to just pay. The average American pays between 22% and 24% of their income in federal taxes alone. Add state taxes, FICA, and local taxes, and the effective burden often reaches 30% to 38%. The wealthy don't just pay taxes. They architect around them. Maxing a 401k in 2025 shields $23,500 from federal income tax. An HSA offers a triple tax advantage: pre-tax contributions, tax-free growth, and tax-free withdrawals for medical expenses. A self-employed individual using a SEP IRA can shield up to $70,000 annually. Tax strategy is not cheating. It is the legal architecture the IRS built and published. The middle class leaves tens of thousands on the table every year by confusing compliance with optimization. Rule number 9. Never rely on a single stream of income. According to IRS data, 65% of millionaires have at least 3 distinct income streams. The middle class has one: their job. And that job can disappear in a 15-minute conversation with HR. A second income stream doesn't have to be dramatic. Dividend income from a $30,000 index fund at a 1.8% yield generates $540 a year. Not life-changing until it's compounding for 15 years alongside your primary income. The goal in year 1 is not to replace your salary. The goal in year 1 is to make the number not 0, because 0 is the most fragile position a financial life can be in. Rule number 10. Never let small recurring expenses go unreviewed. The middle class is remarkably good at tracking large expenses. The mortgage, the car payment, the health insurance, these are known. What bleeds quietly are the subscriptions, the auto renewals, the forgotten trials. A 2024 study by Chase found that the average American underestimates their monthly subscription spending by $133. That's $1,596 a year, invisible, automatic, and growing. The wealthy review their recurring expenses quarterly, not because $14.99 is going to change their life, but because the habit of noticing where money goes without permission prevents much larger leaks. Financial discipline is not a grand gesture. It is the sum of small decisions made consistently. Rule number 11. Never confuse net worth with income. This is the most common financial illusion in America. Income is the water flowing into the tank. Net worth is how much water is actually in the tank. David earns $94,000 a year. His net worth is approximately $31,000. His neighbor earns $61,000 a year. Her net worth is $280,000. She drives a 2017 Honda Civic. He drives a leased Audi. She looks less successful. She is 9 times wealthier. According to Federal Reserve data, the top quartile of American wealth holders are not the highest earners. They are the highest savers and investors. Income determines your ceiling. Behavior determines what you build beneath it. Picture David at 65. In one version of this future, he kept breaking these rules, and he's working part-time because his savings ran out. In the other version, he found out about rule number 1 at 42 and changed one thing. Then another. Then another. The 11 rules aren't a personality overhaul. They're 11 decisions, most of which take less than an afternoon to implement. Rule 1 this week. Find out exactly what your credit card balance is and commit to a payoff date. Not a vague intention, a date. That's the difference between David at 41 and David at 65. Not luck, not inheritance, not a windfall. 11 rules applied consistently over time.